Okay, today I'm going to show you how to run the perfect first date. Now, the reason why this is important for me to deliver to you is because nobody has failed on first dates more than me. I've had to do this from the ground up. And the reason why I really want you to internalize these truths and listen to me on this one is because not only have we put now 525 guys together in this movement, but I'm getting guys saying things like this. The other day, one of the guys goes, I've had more success in the past 2 weeks than I've had in the last 2 years. So because I've done first dates hundreds of times, because I've had to learn from the ground up what to do versus what not to do, I'm going to show you the exact steps that a guy has to take in order to make sure that she likes you, she's laughing the whole time, and she wants to keep seeing you. This is very important, and this took me 10 years to discover. When I tell you that I put almost every single day into this for the past 10 years, literally 10 years from ages 18 to 28, improving my dating life, figuring out how to navigate female nature and the language of women. This is why I'm able to put things into such a step-by-step process for you. So let's dive in. Okay, this is going to take me a little bit of time to dissect, but I'm going to write down all of the things that I do and all of the things that I even notice that I do consciously and subconsciously on these dates to help myself get the best chances of success. So first off, step one, okay, and keep in mind, I'm actually drawing from conclusions of past dates that I had. So the date that I'm referring to is probably from a couple weeks ago. Specifically, there was a lot of different attraction mechanisms I was using and working in my favor to make this work. So the first thing that I would recommend, do not try to plan dates. Don't try to plan shit, okay? Boyfriends plan things. Guys who are already attracting women and already have dating options say, let's go do this now. Hey, let's go to this restaurant right now. Hey, let's go to this coffee shop now. Sushi, question mark, now, question mark, send. That's how guys who actually have options talk and text message. So that's step one. Do not plan anything. So the other day when I was on a date, I text her that morning. I said, brunch right now, question mark. And she goes right now? And I go, yeah, right now. Send. And then I picked the location and we met up. So step one, do not plan anything. Planning stuff looks like you don't necessarily have high status or things going on. It looks like you are really trying to set this up to make sure that she likes you. So don't do that. So number two, what is the mindset you have the entire time on the first date? Or on a date in general? The mindset that you have on these dates is you are demonstrating value the whole time. You are coming right out of the gate demonstrating as many attraction mechanisms and masculinity characteristics as possible. Everything that you have working for you in your favor, make sure you put it in your favor. The clothes you wear. Okay, you want to obviously demonstrate looks, potential money or resources, potential status. You want to make sure you look good, you pick the right clothes, you're charming and captivating that day. All of those things go into it. So the mindset is you are demonstrating as much survival value as humanly possible the entire time, so that way you're satisfying hypergamy. That's step two. Step two is purely just getting your mind on point. Now, step three, let me give you an example of what to do. I'm not even going to call this step three. This is just a preliminary step in case this happens. So some of you, you're going to set a date and you're going to get to that restaurant or you're going to get to that place and they're going to put you on a wait list and they're going to say, hey, yes, we can have your table ready for you, but it's going to be 30 minutes. Okay, so from there, now you have time where you're going to have to figure out something to do. So I'll give you an example of what I did because this is exactly what happened to me. I got there, my date showed up, and then we get to the front desk and they say, yes, we'll have your table ready in 25 minutes. Okay, cool. So I was like, okay, here's what we can do. I was like, we'll walk downtown a little bit through some of these shops because there's different men's clothing stores and different clothing stores in general that was kind of around us. So I wanted to do that because it's something to do. So active masculinity, now we're walking and talking to get to know each other. You're not stagnant, just sitting there passively. Now you're walking. Okay, but here's where you need to be saving disposable income. I'm going to tell you this. A lot of the attraction mechanisms that I tend to try and demonstrate that helps a woman feel safe when she's with you is showing potential resources or resource potential. And it doesn't have to be anything super expensive, right? You just have to show abundance. If I buy 5 chocolate bars and I show a woman that I want to try every flavor, What she sees is 5 chocolate bars. It's only $10, but she sees 5 of them. So most guys, they're just going to buy the one flavor that they tell themselves, I'm going to try this one. If I say, I want all of them to sample, she sees abundance. She sees a guy who's not in scarcity. You only had to spend $10. And it's moving mountains for you because it comes from a point of options. It's all part of frame. So I'm going to show you how this ties into frame through the whole first date. So when I had to walk through these shops, what I instantly wanted to do so things don't get stale, I wanted to find some clothes that I liked. So when I went through all of these shops, there was a pair of pajama pants and they had cactuses on them. So I bought a pair. So now I'm buying a pair of pants. It's resources. Okay, it shows like I'm willing to spend money on myself. Women like to see that. And the whole tone of voice the whole time was like, oh, feel how soft these are, right? These are so soft. And she's giggling at them because I'm a grown man wearing pajamas that have cactuses on them. She thinks it's hilarious. So now we're focusing on the vibe, the energy. She's feeling the pants. It's funny. All of that stuff is important. Okay, so that's what you want to do if they say, hey, you're on a wait list, is you want to get out of the location, and typically most restaurants will send you a text message update when your table's ready. Perfect. Go get out of that scene or that situation and go walk and go get to know the girl on the go. Way better. Okay, now step number 3. When you sit down at that table, when you get served, I don't care if it's coffee. If it's coffee, you say, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I need this caffeine. I need this caffeine. And she laughs because she just thinks it's funny. If it's food, you sit down and you say, oh my God, I'm so hungry. Oh, I can't wait to eat. Oh my God, I'm going to eat all of the food in here. Whatever you want to say is fine. What I'm getting at is this. They want to watch a guy eat and they laugh at quantity. They laugh at quantity and volume of food. I have tested this. If I skip lunch and I have dinner plans with a girl and I order 2 double-sized bacon cheeseburgers and let's say an appetizer and she watches me eat all of it and all of the fries, she is laughing the whole time that I'm able to eat 2 meals. They giggle, they laugh. It's instant, like almost dad energy because sometimes dad likes to just sit down and eat. They love it. They laugh the whole time. So you order options and you make sure that you tell her that you're hungry and you lean into that because it's funny and it's masculine. Now, step number 4. Now, here's the funniest thing about this too, actually, before we get into step number 4. The funniest thing about this is if you have your shit together in life, you make good money, and she sees you're willing to let loose like this, like you're still a kid at heart, that is going to work so many brownie points in your favor. She sees you're not structured and rigid and corporate. She sees you still have a personality that's funny and lighthearted. So important. Step 4, abundance and options. So what I do when we sit down is I say, oh, have you ever been here before? I haven't been here before. Maybe she has, maybe she hasn't. It doesn't matter. Here's what I tell her. I say, I like abundance, or I tell her, I like options. I was like, I like to have options of food. I go, here's what we're going to do. And notice I'm leading this. We are going to just order a bunch of shit, I'll tell her. We're going to order a bunch of stuff. Even look at the way I'm saying it. We're just going to order a bunch of stuff. Let's just start picking. And maybe we'll scoot a little closer to her and we'll share a menu. And I'm like, oh, we're going to get this. So let's say it's like a breakfast place or a brunch spot. Oh, we're going to get this omelet. And then we're going to get these cheesecake pancakes. Oh my God, look at this French toast. We got to try this French toast too. Oh my gosh, they have these waffles. Oh, they're banana waffles. Oh my gosh, we got to get banana waffles. Right. So now I'm like, okay, we just picked 4 things. You're going to see why I will pick 4 or 5 meals and maybe just take the rest home or just let it go, because I'll show you this in a second. This comes down to abundance, this comes down to resources, and this comes down to options. Because I'm willing to spend a whopping $30 extra on a couple more meals, which isn't that much. Keep that in mind. It's not like you have to break the bank here. You have to just show you're willing to spend a little bit of money, because now she sees abundance of calories. She sees a guy who likes food. Naturally, she's going to like food because everybody likes food. She sees you're not cheap. She sees you're not trying to take shortcuts and just get by. She sees a man who's coming from a place of no scarcity. She sees a man who's coming from a place of abundance, and a guy who's willing to invest into her and into that date financially, which is going to help her trust your judgment, because you're checking a lot of boxes that tend to help a woman analyze your survival value. Okay, so that's next. Step number 4, you're going to order a bunch of food to show no scarcity and abundance of options. Now, step 5, this is important. Why did we do that? There's a second reason why we order a bunch of food. We order all of it for both of you. Okay, so you get to order for her and yourself, meaning you lead all of it. You lead the whole interaction. So this is one thing that I struggled with really hard when I would see other content creators over the years talk about this. There's other content creators I've seen and they go, when you're on a first date, just order for the woman that you're with and even pick out the meal for her. And I thought that was complete bullshit because I'm like, okay, number one, what if she doesn't like the food and she just feels as if she has to go along with this just cause? I thought number two, it seems really try hard, like you need to almost micromanage and control every little detail. And number three, I just thought that it seemed really like fake almost. Like it was like when I would hear that, because here's the thing, I would test some of these things or debate testing it on a date. And like what I call it for myself is I call it my own internal cringe radar. I have a very good one. I know when something is not on point and the vibe is off, and when something is on point and the vibe is on. So I would hear these things and I'd be on a date and I'm like, man, there's no way I'm comfortable doing that. I'm not going to say, oh, you're going to get the grilled cheese and tomato soup and I'm going to get, the cheeseburger. And it's like, well, what if she doesn't want that or like that? And yeah, sure, you showed that you have, enough leadership capability to make that decision, but it's like, for what? She could also look at the menu and be like, I'm really in the mood for French toast instead. So how do I get around that? How do I make sure I'm still leading? How do I make sure I'm still ordering for the both of us? So that way she almost just gets to sit back and enjoy the show, enjoy the date without thinking too much. I order for both of us, but I make sure there's a bunch of options. So my energy when we are picking out the food on the menu is I want to make it feel like we're a couple. I want to make it feel like we're together. So we're looking at one menu together. I'm like, oh, we're going to get the French toast and we're going to get the pancakes. Oh, doesn't that omelet look good? And she goes, oh yeah, that looks so good. That omelet looks so good. And I go, okay, we're going to get the omelet too. Oh, look at these cheesy hash browns. I think we should get these cheesy hash browns too. And then she goes, oh yeah, I'll try those too. Well, okay, cool. There's like 3-4 things here on the menu that she's like, yeah, I'm going to try. Well, okay, naturally she's taken care of. So now it's not try hard. Now it's not like you're trying to micromanage the situation. And all I had to do was spend an extra $30-$35. Well, who gives a crap? If that's what it took to make sure that I get a second date and more opportunities to see her, that is way better than just buying one meal each, missing a lot of these things that I'm showing you, and then she doesn't want to see you afterwards, and then you wasted the money anyways because you bought a meal for both of you, and then she doesn't want to see you after. Well, it's better to spend just a little bit extra to go above and beyond to show that you actually care and give a shit about the girl instead of acting like, you don't care about her. Like, it's better to just overinvest in the beginning. It's like if you want to prove to her, show her that like, hey, you're not in scarcity and you don't care if this date goes anywhere, which I'm going to show you why this is important later on. She's going to love seeing that. So I order for both of us. So then when the server comes back, I'm like, I'll order for both of us. We're just going to share a bunch of food. So we're going to get this and this and this and this and this. And the server is writing all this down, smiling and laughing. And a lot of times the girl will be smiling and laughing too because it's just so much quantity of food. A lot of times the girl will even take a picture of all the food and show her friends because she thinks it's awesome that a guy's investing in her that way. So that's number 5, okay? Remove the ego control of thinking you need to order the meal for her and then it's so rigid. No, order the meal for both of you, but make it multiple options so it feels natural. Don't try to do stuff that's not accustomed to your personality, because if you pick a meal that she doesn't like, it might come off kind of weird that you didn't just let things happen the way it should when you're ordering. Okay, so that's number 5. Now, number 6, this is important too, and I actually discovered this one by accident, but I realized that it was actually good. So towards the end of one of my dates, I had to go to the bathroom once, but see, I didn't want to make it so that way the girl would have to pay, but I really had to go to the bathroom, so I didn't know what to do. So I was like, I just pulled out my credit card and I gave it to the girl. And I'm like, if our server comes, make sure that you take care of this, or make sure that we're paid up, something like that. Or I said you can give her this. Well, what did this do? This one happened by accident. I was like, oh my gosh. So when I came back, I noticed she was really happy about that because it signaled trust. It almost made her feel like we are a couple, right? And now it's like, I'm transitioning my resources of my credit card to her and putting enough trust in her, even though I don't necessarily know her to a super high level yet. But it shows that like, hey, even though I'm going to the bathroom, I'm still competent enough to think about the future, to not put you in a state where you're going to now have to pay for us and make me look bad. So it shows competency. It shows that you're thinking ahead. It shows that your brain is properly thinking about these things. And she likes that. So this totally made her smile. So now I would do this a lot, or if I have to go to the bathroom, I'm going to just give her my card, because it looks like what you're actually signaling is you're signaling a lot of competency there. You're basically saying, hey, I understand as a man, it's my job to pay for the date. I understand that that's going to help her feel taken care of. I understand that she's going to like how that feels. So even though I have to go to the bathroom right now and it's at the end of the date, my brain is still thinking about this in a way where if the bill comes, I'm not going to put her in a position where she has to pay. I'm just going to take care of it. That's what you're doing, is you're signaling competency. Now, number 7, when you leave a tip on the bill, right? So when you leave gratuity, leave 30 to 50%. Yes, leave 30 to 50%. Leave a really big tip, because it shows abundance and it shows status. It shows that you don't care. It shows that you're not cheap. Women do not like cheap men. Women do not like guys who feel as if they need to hoard their money and not share. Displays of not caring or displays of resources in any way, shape, or form, right? If you go to the checkout, buy all 5 chocolate bars. If you go on the date, you buy 5 meals for both of you. Whatever the case may be. I know that some of you are going to type in the comments right now and go, I don't want to do that, or I don't like that. That's fine. More options for me, I guess. Like, you got to understand how women look at these things. They look at a guy who's not in scarcity. So when you also see, or when you also show that you're willing to give a 30 to 50% tip, she's going to sit there and go, wow, he's generous. If he's willing to invest in a stranger like that, he's probably willing to invest in me like that. If I were to be with him, she's sitting there going, our kids would probably be taken care of, because this man is not going to hoard all of the resources for himself. So all of these little things, I'm telling you, the way that I make sure that these dates go good and that they want to keep coming back is I make sure to show that I'm willing to invest in them, which is why they are willing to invest in me. Now, here's where this gets good. These other couple steps are important, so that way she doesn't feel as if you're trying to do this just to pay for stuff to win her over, because framing is everything. So, number 8, here's the funniest thing about this. When the date is over and you walk out, okay, no hugs goodbye on the date. There's even sometimes where there will be so much tension between us in a good way, like good emotional tension, where we're walking out of the restaurant and she's trying to poke fun at me, and I'll play back and I'll poke fun at her. You know, if I said things like, all the other, everybody online, or all of the online videos I've seen, everybody says, don't trust the girl in the red dress, right? Don't trust the woman in the red dress. I don't know if I can trust you. Whatever the case may be, play back with her a little bit. Have that good dynamic. So I'm doing a lot of this verbally, but what I'm going to tell you is this. No hugs goodbye. On the date, I am creating space physically. So all of this is going down verbally, but I'm sitting away. So that way she can't necessarily gauge my interest level. So when you guys leave that restaurant, or when you guys leave that date, no hugs goodbye. You are creating space, okay? And what you can even do on the date is you can play around where you're laughing, you're joking, maybe you're poking fun at other people, or you guys have little inside jokes about what's going on around your circumstance and around your situation and the environment that you're in. All of those little things make her feel good. It makes her feel some sort of emotional pull towards you. But here's the thing, number 8, no hugs goodbye. And then on top of that, since I show that I'm willing to invest in her, but I don't necessarily need a hug goodbye, I don't need to ask her when I'm going to see her the next time is, any of that stuff. Number 9 then, step 9, is I just say goodbye, right? I go, all right, well, I'll catch you later. That's it. Casual. All right, I'll catch you later. It was nice meeting you. That's it. No, it was great meeting you. No, I can't wait to see you again. No, oh, when are you free next? None of that. I say, goodbye, great meeting you, and then I leave. Why? Because guess what happens? Then she can't necessarily gauge your interest level. She's going to say, well, does he invest in all first dates like this? Does he treat all of his first dates this way? Did he invest in me and pay for 5 meals like this because he really likes me, or is this just the way he lives? She's going to go, is he wealthy? Is he of high status? Does he have a lot of abundance mentality? Why is he willing to do all this for me, but now he doesn't even ask when he's going to see me again? She can't see your interest level. She can't read your interest level. So by you just saying bye and I'll see you later, you would be surprised how many women, as soon as they drive home, 30 minutes go by and they will send you a text message that says, had so much fun on the date. Can't wait to see you again next. Or next weekend, if you're free, you are my first priority to go get drinks with. Or she will say, thank you so much for the date. I had an amazing time, smiley face. And she will initiate the contact first. And I have seen this happen within 20 to 30 minutes after leaving. I've even seen this within 5 minutes after leaving, and she gets in her car. She instantly will start thanking me for the date and how great of a time she had. Because you have to understand, women today, it's very, very hard for them to find masculine men who know what they're doing. And I'm not just talking about masculine men as in you have big muscles and you have a beard. I'm talking about masculinity in all of the elements I just taught you today. Coming from abundance, coming from a place of survival value, coming from a spot where you're showing that you're willing to share resources, showing that you're not cheap, showing that you're willing to invest in her. All of these little things matter. So that's how I do it. And then she can't read your interest level because she doesn't know if it was good or not because you didn't give her a hug goodbye and all you said was, all right, I'll catch you later. You didn't try to set a second date. So now she wants to see you again. And she goes, well, whoa, he was willing to invest in me like that. I better make sure I win him over on a personality level so he wants to see me more. And this is how you run a perfect first date. This right here has done more for me than any other tactic or any other what's the other word for tactic? Strategy that any other content creator I've ever heard over the years. This right here, showing abundance, showing that you're not in scarcity, showing that you're willing to invest in her, bringing good survival value to the table, and then creating space on the date so you're not super close and she has a reason to want to like scoot next to you a little bit. So yeah, keep that in mind. This is how I run it. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.